stories. My stupid brand new water heater broke down from all the calcium and things in the water, and so we rented a hotel room so we could all get a shower. My husband and teenage daughters had to go first. While they took their shower, I had already been looking for cameras after shows and articles depicting warnings to check had me freaked out. My husband laughed at me, so I thought we were safe. It wasn't until I was actually standing inside the shower that I saw the camera. You had to see it from a certain angle wrapped around the light that had a cover over the bottom of it, but an opening all the way around the edges in the middle. I looked up, and there it was. I screamed, and my husband came running in. I told him that there was a camera, and he checked it, and sure enough, he took the bottom cover off, and the camera fell down, and was actually wired to the light, and set to sit and point, looking down into the shower. My husband ripped it out and marched straight to the office. From there, a fight ensued. The creepy guy got pissed off at my husband and accused him of destroying his room, and the owner called the cops. My husband is a hothead when he's on a moral mission and grabbed the guy up by the scarf of the collar. His mentality being, if I'm going to go to jail, I'm going to make it worth it. The guy's wife came out, and by then I was dressed and there for backup. She wanted to know what was happening, so I told her what had happened. She said, "Wait right here." She had grabbed a knife from her room and was chasing the owner guy around with it. When the cops showed up, the cops asked us what happened first. When we told them, they looked at the owner and apparently found hundreds of videos in a private nook in his bedroom they're using to build a case on him. So beware to check everywhere before undressing in a hotel. I'm wondering if I'm overreacting here or if other people think this is weird. I have a habit of being friendly. This guy Joseph started working at my job 2 weeks ago. He's late 20s, very polite and soft-spoken. But we started talking at work. At first, I liked him and considered him a work friend until he started getting creepy. So he would mostly only talk to me at work, no one else. We'd joke around. I started noticing that he would ask me a lot of questions about myself, but he would never answer much about himself, just vague information. He did mention that he doesn't drive because of problems, and that he lives with his brother and his brother's wife and kids. I figured he has a DUI or something. I noticed that Joseph would get really close to me a lot, like get right up on me in my personal space when doing work, and it's kinda weird. He started looking me up and down a lot. Whatever. I casually told him that I have a boyfriend, and he started asking questions about my boyfriend that got increasingly weird, feeling like Joseph is into me now. He would ask questions like, "Why didn't your boyfriend do XYZ?" when I told him a story about something that happened. He asked what race my boyfriend was. He also asked what kind of car he drives. I laughed at those questions and did not answer specifically. "Do you and your boyfriend have deep conversations like we do?" "I bet you and your boyfriend have a lot of fun," he said with a wink. That was really weird. I made a comment about Joseph's quiet voice, and he said, "Yeah, I try to make it quiet on purpose. My real voice is much different. The quiet voice is so much more socially acceptable." I noticed he is rude to every other male employee. And he would also get overly mad about any male customer that potentially said something rude to me. He'd try to insist on doing my work and minor tasks for me, which was okay. I noticed he'd always agree with me, and if he did answer a question, he would adjust his opinion to agree with me after. That rubs me the wrong way. One day he randomly told a guy I never speak to at work called me a dumbass and that I should avoid him. I honestly got the impression that Joseph made this up. My gut feeling was he made it up to try and get close to me. I don't know why. I told Joseph to leave me alone after that, and he got mad. I looked him up online later and I found out he has 4 felony assault charges that were within the last 3 years, including an FTA charge. It was included with mugshots of his face. Not sure how he's on the streets right now. My job doesn't do background checks. I understand shit happens, and I try not to judge, but violent conviction scares me. Especially considering he is dealing with the public at work. There was another charge with his name in this state, which was a child SA charge, but I seriously hope the child one is a different guy. There is no pic. Anyway, I'm scared and freaked out by Joseph. This happened when we were children, but I think about it often. The place we were growing up in was part of a small town, but we were on a very bad side of it. Tires were always slashed, and there was a bar in very close proximity. My mom always hounded me with stranger danger rules, but she never thought she had to worry about my brother. We were playing soccer in our front yard, which was enclosed with hedges except for a small opening to the sidewalk in front of our house. I was being a little competitive, and I kept kicking the ball over the hedge, so my brother and I had to run to the other side and bring it back. At one point, we heard a pickup truck slow down and stop at the opening of our hedges. My mom was inside doing chores and didn't really think we would be in danger. The guy in the truck starts calling out and asking if we had seen a dog run by. He claimed it was his dog. I told my brother to stay in the yard, and we asked him from inside the yard what it looked like. The guy just told us he had a picture in his truck and we can come up and look at it. I said no, and I told my brother to not go near him. I went and turned to go open the door in my house and call my mom. My brother was a lot younger than me and didn't like to listen to me. He started approaching the truck, and I looked back and I screamed my head off at my brother. The guy got irritated because I was being so loud and decided to start driving away. My mom ran out to yell at me for being so loud and saw the pickup truck drive away. It was just creepy that this guy just thought to pull up to our house, and I blame myself for making our presence known. From there, we only really played within our backyard until eventually we moved a couple of years later. I really hated that neighborhood. This happened when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I was living in a really small town and went to school in the biggest city near it. I had to take the same bus every day to go there, but not the school bus, a regular one with all types of people in it. There were these 2 guys. that I had seen a couple of times already. I'd say about 30 years old, both a little odd in my opinion, and one of them was pretty loud and liked to rap on the bus, while the other one was more quiet and looked a bit creepy. I used to always wear headphones on the bus or whenever I went outside, playing the music pretty loud in my ears, except for this day. I had turned down my music, probably because I had a headache, and could hear the conversation around me distinctively. After my day at school, I hopped in the bus to go home, and these two guys were here. I didn't pay much attention to them. When my stop came, I got up from my seat, and as I walked past them to get out of the bus, I heard very clearly the quiet guy say to his friend in a very creepy way, "Hey, dog, look, that little bitch right there, she got a nice ass, bruh." I know it's not that big of a deal, but the way he said it, and the fact that he was a grown 30-year-old man, sent chills down my spine. While I was on my laptop, I received a friend request on Facebook. I looked at it, and I saw that it was the creepy guy who made the comment about my ass. I froze there, wondering how he could have found me since he supposedly didn't know anything about me. Neither my name, address, school, friends, absolutely nothing. But the bus line I was taking a few minutes after receiving that friend request, I received another notification. He had replied to a comment I had made on a post. "I'd really like to know more about a pretty girl like you." Smiley face. I was so scared as to how he found me and how far that stalking could go. I immediately blocked him and tried to forget about it, but I was worried I'd see him again on the bus. So I started taking an earlier bus and told myself I'd wait a little for the school to open. But I saw him again on the bus, taking the same as I was taking, but not every day. I tried to ignore him and sit as far away as possible, but I can feel his eyes on me, looking at me. He didn't do anything else, just look until the end of the school year, whenever he was in the same bus as me, and I never saw him again after that. Nothing bad happened, but it was so creepy. The way he could find me on Facebook with absolutely no information on me, and that he could clearly see I was really young, and looked even younger than I was, and made a comment like that, and probably more, that I didn't hear. I never talked about it to anyone, and put it past me after that year. Hi there. I've got 2 points to make, one on social media and the other on more physical freedoms. I started using social media at 13 or 14, which just so happened to be when I started to analyze how I looked, my style, everything. I'm 23 now, and social media has been a big dark cloud over my life. That's 10 years of counting likes, spending 30 minutes trying to take the perfect profile picture, digitally editing my nose to make it smaller, trying to make my feed look aesthetic, stalking my partner's exes, etc., etc. Obviously, this is only my experience. What I'm trying to say is not being allowed on social media might actually be doing you some good. I wished I'd stayed off of it, but now I'm addicted, and it's a powerful addiction. It's fueled my low self-esteem to a breaking point, and I have tried to be so many other people that I don't even know who I am anymore. However, I believe real social freedoms is very much needed, especially at 16. You should have privacy, and you should be allowed to go out with your friends without being monitored. I was very controlled up until about 17 or 18, And honestly, I think my mom only gave up at that point because I was rebelling constantly, and she had my little sister to worry about. I truly believe that without the ability to learn how to look after yourself, you're being set up for failure in later life. My mom seemed to think that even though I'd be restricted, that by 18 I'd just magically be able to work everything out for myself. I wasn't. It left me anxious and unable to cope with all the new responsibilities and forming friendships. I was years behind all of my friends because they had all been properly socialized and able to explore the world little by little, whereas I was nervous even ordering a drink in a cafe. I know that my mom was coming from a place of concern, care, and wanting to look after me, but by not loosening the reins enough, I wasn't ready for the world, and it made my social life and getting a job very hard, and made me feel like I was useless and dependent. Fast forward to now, I'm 23, and I had to teach myself how to live without my mom's help. It was hard, and I went through many failed jobs and friendships to get where I am today. All that said, one of the main reasons Mom didn't let go was because she didn't trust me. So I suggest having a chat with yours and figuring out how you can have more freedom while maintaining healthy communication. If your mom really cares, she would not want you to be an unadjusted adult when you turn 18. So maybe try to go for that angle rather than just wanting more time with your friends. I hope this helped even a little. Good luck. You're going to be fine. If you're new, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, as it really helps me out. And if you are already subscribed, welcome back and thank you for subscribing.